Hi, I'm Rob Clues with Ztrack Distribution, and I'm here today with Hans Ritterwald and Robert Albrighton of American Z Lines. And we are here with our December 2020 update. So I'm going to turn it over to these guys. I know they have got a lot to discuss today.
Well, why don't we start in England, where Z-Panzer is located? And we haven't had anything from Andy Hart in a long time, but we can show our next Z-Panzer. Rob, do you have the slide and we'll get that up?
Yep, let me go share that out right now.
All right.
There you go.
Perfect.
So what it is, it's really two products in one. You have the trailer, which is called the M1000, and the tractor, which is really is a brute. It's enormous, and it's the M1070. And this release we might do without a flat car because it's so big, and it really is. We're going to sell it as a set, so you buy the tractor and the trailer, and will be available in sand yellow and green, as we have done before. And I don't know when we're going to get it. COVID-19 makes a lot of trouble around the world, and the way it has worked so far is that on my trips to England, I have seen Andy, I picked it up, and then when I'm stateside, I have actually brought it in the suitcase. These are fragile things, so not sure when we're going to see them. Hopefully we'll have them in May or June. That's what we're planning to do, and this is really something. And if you like all our prior releases, you really are going to like this one. So not much else to say, but can't wait to see the real thing.
Yeah, I will say Andy does amazing work. His details are just outstanding. I mean, unbelievable. Unbelievable. So what else do we have, Hans? I mean, it's exciting news with the Z-Panzer.
I can continue. I don't know if I promised last time, but we finally got an engineering sample on the switcher, the SW 1500 and 1000, and have it here in my hand.
Oh, wow.
And it came without handrails. That's okay. This is an engineering sample, so I've been running it a couple of days. It runs really, really well. But turn it around. I don't know how much you can see here, but it's a very nice way how they recessed the couplers. And that was one of the big issues. Can we hide the coupler box? And I think our factory has done that in a great manner.
So it looks like we've got the couplers are screwed on again, Hans. That's
they are. And I think that's a good thing.
I'm going to jump in here. I'll jump in here for a second. So one of the things that we tried to do is we tried to actually get the coupler box where you could screw in an MTL coupler. There's not enough room, and we tried several times. So we do have a screw for a coupler, but it unlike the RSs, it will not take a direct coupler box from an MTL. So it's going to take a little bit of work. There's something else probably ought to take a look at. We also, like a lot of other people who did the switchers, I don't know if you can see that there, had to make it where the pivot point on the axle is actually out towards the end. It's really the only way to get the motor in there. Otherwise, it's just physically impossible to do. They run great, and you know what? When running, it's not noticeable at all. If anything, it probably makes the running characteristics maybe a little bit better. This is not unlike what we've done, say, with the heavyweights that had the steps that were molded into the truck. It just made them run better, and it really didn't sacrifice the look of the running at all. So I think this was actually, engineering-wise, a great compromise to make something that is accurate, that runs great, and that just across the board is going to wind up being a better product.
Oh, that's excellent. Really cool idea.
A couple of more things. I was very nervous about the cabin itself because of the windows, and are we going to be able to really prototypically show the windows like they really are? And the factory's done an amazing thing to get these details out. And I don't know, I sent you a photo, Rob. I don't know if you can get that up.
Yeah, let me share that out too. There we go.
Yeah, and as you see there, we hope this is ready for summer. Bottlenecks typically color matching and artwork, so I think it's down to basically those two things at the moment. I put up some of the road names on the screen here. Typically, we'd like to make everything, but have to limit ourselves sometimes. So it's these are not all of them, but they are the bulk. So Union Pacific, Southern Pacific, Western Pacific, CSX, BN, BNSF, Canadian National, etc. You can read them off the screen. And the last two, Denver, Rio Grande Western, and Burlington, they are the SW1000. They didn't have the 1500. And a lots of individual details. So, and that's good. You can kind of see on the photo that the light arrangements are different on the two.
Very notable. Yep.
Different trucks as well, important on this release. It's showing the ARR, no, the Alco truck. We also have the FlexiCoil. FlexiCoil being the most common truck on these switchers. So really looking forward to have this. This has really been a big void in our lineup, or any Z-scale manufacturer's lineup, to have first real switcher, which it is, of course.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Hans, when we talk about Z-scale and I get feedback from our customers, what we've been hearing repeatedly for over 20 years is, when will we get a switcher? When will we get, one that I can afford, I can buy, I don't have to produce myself? And I mean, this is so exciting. This is a new bar for Z-scale. This is something that, again, has been high demand for 20 plus years. Yeah, I just can't wait for this to hit the market.
And it is correct. I double checked the dimensions yesterday, and it's dead on. I mean, it matches the prototype, divided by 220, of course.
Oh, they are gorgeous looking already. Oh, how exciting.
Yep. So, and I don't know when we have more on this locomotive. As we said last time, we're going to try to have these video sessions once a month. And maybe in February, we'll have some artwork. Hope so. Until then.
Oh, cannot wait to see those paintings as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that is amazing. Anything else right now we want to share? I know we have a tour coming up too.
Well, yeah, I think that Santa is going to send Hans a new digital caliper for Christmas. I'm not sure, to make sure everything's completely accurate. He's going to get the one that's got 4 digits on it, as opposed to just us mortals. We just have 2 digits.
Oh, that's awesome.
Santa just came.
Yeah, the elves delivered.
Most needed tool in Z-scale today.
This was not planned. I want to point that out. This was not at all planned.
So shows about my work day, and both Rob and myself, this is not our full-time job, but I have to be honest that at least 50% of all the work I do with trains, on trains, is done here on my desk. Usually early in the morning with a really good cappuccino.
Yeah, it's we're very similar in that way. In that, yeah, I'm probably more than 50% of the desk actually. It's probably closer to 70% on a computer, and with the occasional use of Google Translate to surprise Chinese friends.
But Rob, we were talking about the Super Chief. I think just touched on it just a little bit in December, and I'm sure you have quite a bit to say about that name train.
Yeah, this is fun. I think our next episode, or maybe the episode after, we're going to talk a little bit about the process that we use to choose the various things that we produce. A bit of a spoiler, there's a big element of sometimes we make something we just want to do, and there's no reason behind it more than that. So Super Chief was one of them. I think it's going to be a great seller. This is just an iconic name train from the 1950s. I think when most people think of a streamliner, what immediately pops into people's heads is a Santa Fe war bonnet and a long string of streamlined silver cars behind it. Anyway, apparently what's really big with folks these days are unboxings. So we're going to try and increase our YouTube views here by doing an unboxing. If you put that in the tag, apparently your viewership goes through the roof. I don't understand it. I'm not on social media. So a little bit of the unboxing. This is how we get the early production prototypes, samples from the factory. They're, they come in a jewel box, but realistically, 9 times out of 10, it's just wrapped in some bubble wrap. So that adds to a little bit of our surprise, like what's inside? Who knows? And they're cleverly labeled in code. I don't know if you can see it. I think it says AF. What is this? 545. That's actually the factory's code for the project that we're working on. So in factory world, that means a Super Chief. And then you'll get, something's inside, who knows what. Other times you'll get them, they'll just have foam around them, and you kind of pull the foam apart, and what do you have? Oh, there you go. There's a really nice dome car. The Santa Fe actually called them the Pleasure Dome. I find that to be a little bit questionable in marketing these days, but I think back in the 50s, that was a perfectly acceptable thing to say. Couple things you'll notice off of here. Antennas are correct. The dome's all silver, so some of that will be painted. And frequently when we get the first shots out of these guys, you'll notice that the glass is kind of frosted over. There's a reason for that. The tooling on solid pieces like the body here, that's done and then it's put into production. Anything that is going to be transparent has to be hand polished even after the tooling is done. Otherwise, you get this kind of frosting effect out of it. It's just microscopic little pieces that make the difference between something being transparent and something being opaque, this being semi-opaque. So we always get them frosted first. And what that allows them to do is if they have to make any changes to the tooling, they haven't spent the time, money, and effort with guys hand polishing the tools. So this is pretty normal. You can see there's a full interior on the inside of it. Artwork comes later. Also, this shipped with black trucks. And I know a few people mentioned, hey, wait a minute, aren't those trucks supposed to be silver? We get them in all sorts of colors on the first time around. For example, the switcher that you just saw, this guy's bright yellow. Why? They probably had some extra yellow paint to paint it so that, some of the details would stand out. You'd actually be able to see what it looks like with a coat of paint on it. Sometimes we get them unpainted and you can just see all the raw materials underneath. It just really depends. So there's your Pleasure Dome car. The sets are gonna go after. We're trying to model the summer 1953 version of the Super Chief. We're pretty fortunate that train didn't change too much over time. A lot of the other railroads, depending on the season, the UP especially, they would combine all sorts of different cars. The Santa Fe was pretty consistent for a long period of time on the Super Chief as to exactly what they ran. So that makes it easier. Then sometimes we'll get a full box of these guys, right? The entire box full of samples, and you literally just have to go through them one at a time and see what's in here. We ship them. We ship drawings. We ship samples from other folks of what they've made. We usually point out the changes we'd like to see made. We do measurements, make sure everything's completely accurate. Believe it or not, there have been some model manufacturers who've made things that are a little off, and we try and make sure they're not. So here you've got an observation car. Can't remember which one this is. I think it may have been the Navajo. You can see the drum heads actually been done with the potential for having lighting in it. This will not come with lighting. We've left that potential open for you if you've got a modeler who's a little more advanced and wants to try and put some lighting in it. Again, completely prototypical with the train. All these were stainless steel cars made by Bud. and they were incredibly well built. As a matter of fact, most of them did go on to Amtrak service. So these cars, they lasted a long, long, long time, unlike some of the other cars that were not stainless steel. Let's see, what else? We'll go through a couple more of them here kind of quickly for you. Again, a little bit of the unboxing. I'm making a mess. I'll have lots of cleanup to do later. What do we have here? Dining car, for example. Again, this is all new tooling. It's all specific to the Super Chief and the Santa Fe. Underside on all of them is separate, is different. Ends are correct. Separately applied pieces for the vents coming out of the kitchen material. Trucks, they all ran on basically the same trucks, so trucks are the same. But we think this is going to be a really fun kind of train. And then, of course, what we're trying to do now is we're trying to release locomotive power that is appropriate for the trains at the same time as the train itself. We do have a couple surprises that we've been holding back, and we've got some other things that are coming. We've been waiting on the locomotives. We'll announce those later on. But there's some really beautiful, fun things coming that'll probably be in 2021, just depending on how quickly we can get some of these other locomotives in here. To give you a nice example, I think this is a dormitory lounge car, if my memory serves me correct. I've been working on this thing off and on nonstop for quite some time, so I've kind of got these things memorized. Another great car. We have a 10-6 sleeper coming with it. Super Chief is an all Pullman train, so no coach. We have the baggage car, which was specific for the Super Chief. We also have the RPO car, which I think is one of the very few streamlined, dedicated RPO cars that was out there. I can't think of another railroad that had them built quite that way. It's kind of a cool little car. It looks like a streamliner that got shrunk down to RPO size. So it's pretty neat. We're expecting this pretty soon, believe it or not. We've been told the arrival of this is imminent. All the artwork has been done. So we're just waiting on production. So we really hope this comes out pretty soon, and we hope that we've got matching F units, war bonnet F units to come. So this one's definitely will be out this winter. Whether it's December, or January, or February, we're not quite sure yet, but we'll get it out as quickly as we can. But this is a fun project. It's really an exciting project, and we hope this is one of those projects that, yeah, maybe it brings a few more people into the scale, because it's just one of those trains that everybody goes, oh, I know that one, man, that looks so cool. I wish it was in Z scale. Well, now it is.
Oh, I'll tell you, those named trains, people just love them. I mean, just love them, Rob. Oh, that's amazing. Those cars are gorgeous.
Yep.
Okay, what's next, guys? What do we want to talk about next?
Well, somebody, or at least some of you guys know that I have the Moffat East Portal layout, and I have it here in the office. That's actually why I'm in the office today and not in my little workshop. And I have a train set that's running. Actually, it's not running. I'm going to try to make it run right now. Probably have to make a Santa Fe type of layout next, and we'll probably do a Harvey house or something like that. Okay, so I'm going to switch to my cell phone. You have to help me with that, Rob.
You got it. Okay, let's switch over. Make it a little seasick here while we walk around.
Okay, so I don't know if you can hear me. That's up to you, but I'll. So layout is actually a show layout, and all the pieces you can remove. So what's good, I can have different scenery here. I had a unit here called East of Caliente in California, which is a typical California desert scene. Here we are, obviously in Colorado, Rocky Mountains. So we have a train waiting, and sorry about the Western Pacific. The Denver Rio Grande units were acting up. Don't know why. I think the maintenance crew's on strike or something like that. And so after the layout, it kind of runs into a little tunnel here. And I have 4 tracks. I don't know how well you can see it. in the back, so I can run different sets. And let's see if we can get this thing running. So we have the entire California Zephyr train set coupled to these two Western Pacific F3s, and I just floored it. Usually I take it a little bit slower. With this speed, I'm sure the passengers are getting motion sickness there. Slow it down just a little bit. So this unit totally comes to pieces. It's actually 4 pieces that you can take apart. So it's easy travel. I have matching boxes, so everything is well protected. So it has been shown in Germany. I'm, as you may recall, in Oslo, Norway. That's where it's residing. Not sure if it's ever going to make it to the US, but a lot of fun. And kind of accurate. This is late spring in Colorado. Usually it's quite, these really green colors seems to only be out for probably a month or so before it gets brown. Just thought it would be fun to show a little bit. And the main builder of the layout, his name is Carl Sen. He's in Germany. And I built the portal itself. And some of you guys went to the Z-Scale convention in Denver, and I think I brought it there. That's the first time I showed it. Okay, Rob, we'll take it back to you.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Amazing layout. You know, you just see that layout and you look at the Moffett and you realize what Z-Scale can do. I mean, you got the height, the trees, the details, but yet still in a manageable space. It's just, it really shows off the scale and the products, what Z-Scale is all about to me. So.
Yeah, and in this particular area is kind of dear to me. I went to school in Colorado, went up to Moffett several times, know the area really well, and yeah, it's fun. Unfortunately today, I mean, a lot of the train spotters, they love to go and up here and take photos, and now they're not running a whole lot of trains, and I heard now it's down to 8 trains a day. And that's really, you know, when I went to school, I think there were, you know, at least a couple of trains every hour. So Union Pacific is not running through service anymore. That has stopped. So the only through service you have, you have 2 Amtrak trains, like the Zephyr, of course, that will run through here twice a day.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, so it's all local. All the freight's local now. Unfortunately, that's unfortunate. I like to go and see what's going on up there.
Great. I've always loved kind of the tunnel portal that you made. I thought it was a really neat piece of work. It's just great to kind of see it all come together in one module.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, guys, anything else you want to share, or hold off till our January update?
Well, I think we'll wait for our next update. Unless Rob, unless you have something.
No, I just, you know, look, happy holidays to everybody. And, you know, thanks for supporting the company. We're really pleased that we can do this with you guys. We all always kind of feel like we're partners with our customers. And We really appreciate your support, and especially with all the trials of being at home over the last year, it's been really great to have something that we can all kind of dive into and get away from the normal day-to-day stuff. And we're going to keep doing it. And we hope you guys can stay along with us for the rest of the journey.
Oh, thanks. Yep. Happy holidays and happy New Year's to everyone.
Yeah.
Happy holidays.
And we will be back in January with another update. So thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.